Does it surprise you that that kind of thing's going on in a neighborhood like this?
To the volume and the extent that it was, yes.
Didn't think you had drug runners in your own neighborhood.
No.
In 1983, an apartment in Queens was hiding 400 pounds of cocaine, ready to flood New York City. When agents stormed in, they were met with mountains of packages. The scene was so shocking that the press took hours to calculate its value before making it public. But the real story wasn't the drugs or the millions involved. That raid revealed the identity of the powerful drug lord who had turned the Big Apple into the Cali Cartel's most lucrative stronghold. José Santacruz Londoño, also known as Don Chepe, was born on October 1st, 1943, in Cali, Colombia. He was the son of a coffee merchant and studied engineering in Bogota, where he met his future partners, the Rodriguez Orejuela brothers. After graduating, Don Chepe and the Rodriguez Orejuela brothers formed a small gang called Los Chemas, focused on express kidnappings. They targeted local businessmen and demanded modest ransoms, quickly gaining a reputation in the criminal underworld. Over time, the group absorbed other criminal networks and began operating as a single structure. That's how they became known as the Cali Cartel, named after the Colombian city where they were based. In 1981, the Cali Cartel and its main rival, the Medellin Cartel, agreed to divide drug distribution routes in the United States. Cali chose New York, Medellin took Miami, and Los Angeles was left open to either organization. The first man Cali sent to the U.S. was Helmer Pacho Herrera, but he was arrested shortly after arriving. So they sent Santacruz to take control and continue the operation in New York. Don Chepe began establishing a network of safe houses used to store cocaine and cash in Brooklyn and Queens. He oversaw the production, processing, and distribution of the drug. Beyond New York, he also set up distribution hubs in Miami, Houston, and Los Angeles. By 1982, Santacruz had already built a powerful distribution network, especially in New York. Cali's transportation methods were very different from those of their Medellin rivals. While Medellin relied on small planes and speedboats, Cali preferred to hide their shipments in cargo ships. They also partnered with Mexican criminal organizations to move cocaine from Central America into the U.S. The organization routinely hid cocaine in various shipments. DMV employees were on the payroll, issuing fake license plates. Cargo vessels transported millions in cash and cocaine. By then, Santacruz's network was earning over $7 billion a year from smuggling cocaine into the United States. While Escobar's men thrived on terror and spectacle, Chepe built his power in the U.S. through discipline and bribery. Santacruz was also extremely cautious. He often wore disguises to avoid being recognized by authorities and surrounded himself with armed bodyguards to prevent attacks from rival organizations. Everything seemed to operate with relentless precision. The labs never stopped, the shipments left on schedule, and the millions flowed back to Cali as if it were a legitimate business. No one dared to speak Don Chepe's name out loud, but everyone knew that behind the silence, a brilliant mind was pulling the strings. But that apparent perfection was about to fall apart. The DEA had already launched an undercover investigation with wiretaps, discreet surveillance, and daily tracking of routine movements. The group was careful, but not invisible. In November 1983, an apartment in a Queens building caught the agents' attention. For weeks, they had observed strange activity without making a move, but that night, they decided to act. They didn't know exactly what they'd find, but as soon as they opened the door, what they saw left them completely stunned. Dozens of poorly wrapped packages, seemingly compressed by hand, were stacked on top of each other. Nearby, bundles of cash rested inside open suitcases. The scene spoke for itself. The sheer amount of cocaine and money in one place made it clear that this apartment was being used by a major criminal organization. The scene was so overwhelming that it took the press hours to estimate its value before reporting it to the public. But the most disturbing part was the sense that this wasn't just another stash house. It was the Cali Cartel's operations center in New York. From that moment on, everything began to unravel. That seizure was the crack that shattered the silence. New York wasn't just a stopover for the Cali Cartel, it was the crown jewel, the hottest point in the business. And behind that jewel, quietly pulling the strings, was Don Chepe. That operation marked the beginning of the end for José Santacruz and an era of the Cali Cartel. It exposed key parts of the organization, and eventually, justice caught up with him. In 1995, he was captured by Colombian authorities, but the story didn't end there. Just a year later, Don Chepe escaped from prison. a breakout that revealed the depth of corruption within Colombia's prison system. While on the run, he tried to rebuild the cartel's structure and regain control, but the landscape had changed. Alliances were falling apart, international pressure was stronger than ever, and his name was all over intelligence reports. On March 5th, 1996, Santacruz was gunned down by a Colombian police squad in a lightning-fast operation in Medellin. His death marked one of the final blows to the Cali Cartel and the definitive end of an era. This is how the mastermind behind the Cali Cartel in New York fell. Third in the hierarchy, yet first in logistics, he was the man who turned every peer into a fortune. There were no courts and no triumphant headlines. He died by his own code on a Medellin street. In that moment, the mind that made New York the cartel's biggest moneymaker came to an end. And since then, no other capo has managed to claim his crown. Thanks for watching till the end of this video. Do you think cartels still warehouse massive shipments inside inconspicuous city apartments? Or have they developed even more sophisticated, almost undetectable hiding places? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Plus, if you'd like to have exclusive printed images from the underworld in your home, meticulously curated from confidential archives and landmark moments in mafia history, head over to our website. Worldwide shipping is free, and every purchase directly supports this channel, something I appreciate immensely. See you in the next video.